So it's been a while since we've done one of these, but tonight we're going to do a versus, and we're going to compare the DJI Pocket 2 here to the Fimi Palm 2. Which one's for you? Let's find out.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Say what you want about pocket-sized gimbals, I really like them for a few reasons. Say you're just a vlogger, it's nice that you don't have to carry an entire rig with you. Rather, you can have an all-in-one system right here, everything you need on the go. Don't have to worry about weight, stable footage, everything's done for you. The main reason I like them is because they're discreet, and generally when you look at something like this, you don't assume that it's a camera. So if I'm out on the streets, I can get my B-roll shots, slip shoot, and not have to worry about bypassers disrupting the natural environment by staring right into the fourth wall. And on top of that, they're generally a lot cheaper than a DSLR or mirrorless rig would be, so there's that. So I've never tried the Palm 1, but I did have the Osmo Pocket for a very long time, and I did like the camera. The portability was great, the features were nice. It did have some downfalls to me though, like the audio jack was very hit or miss. Sometimes I would think I'm recording sound, but it just didn't go through because it was just so janky. The battery life wasn't all that good. And the Cinelite D was pretty grainy. On top of that, DJI probably has my least favorite compression to work with on my computer. I mean, granted, a 4K 60 file is going to be hard on almost any computer out there. Even their 4K 24 was just unbearable to work with because it was just so slow, and you can make proxy files, but even that takes time. Generally didn't use 4K on my DJI Osmo Pocket. Is it any different now? I mean, we'll see. So the Palm 2 interested me in the regards that it kind of filled some of the voids that the original Osmo Pocket was lacking. The big one is the battery life. And from what I've seen, the ergonomics just look a little bit tidier on the Palm 2, but I guess we won't know that until we unbox the two. So without further ado, let's open them up. Now, although I do have the Pro version of the DJI Pocket 2, we are just going to keep it bare bones and compare the bodies just for an even playing field. Nice cases respectively, the Fimi Palm 2 sporting a fully enclosed pewter clamp style, while the Pocket 2 has a modified version of its first hardshell case. This time it doesn't have a strap, but it does snap into place and it feels very sturdy. So we got the two devices unpacked. I'm gonna let them charge, and I'm gonna recharge myself because it's late. I wanna go to bed. We'll pick up where we left off tomorrow. DJI TV right here. We're gonna do a little quality test. Everything's set on auto. We're doing so on a bike. Pretty rocky Duluth roads. Again, nothing's set up, it's all just kind of run and gun. So everything's on all auto right now. How is the sound quality? No mics, no nothing. And so everything's on all auto right now. How is the sound quality? No mics, no nothing. Alright, so here's a look at the setup that I'm using to compare the two, mounted upon the e-bike. So the original intentions here was to mount some ND filters on the two and then try to properly expose to give a more cinematic look at the two in comparison with colors and proper exposure and so forth, but I just realized that the Pocket 2 here cannot be exposed without it being plugged into a phone, at least at the moment. The Pocket 1 was like that when it first was released too. So I guess we'll have to just do that part at home. Oh, just tripped on a tree. So though we couldn't really expose with the Pocket 2 manually at this very second, I do have the Fimi Palm 2 exposed with the 180-degree shutter rule and magnetic ND filter mounted on it. So let's keep it going like this. So I don't know if you saw that, but we just lost the DJI Pocket 2. Oh, it's not looking good. So I just dropped my Pocket 2, but she lives. Right now we're gonna do a time lapse with the Fimi Palm 2. And then I thought in the meantime, we'd take some nice pictures with the Pocket 2. Also, shout out to Bright Project for the nice hoodie with the built-in, hold on, give me a second, lens wipe. Regardless of the lens wipe, I usually just use my sweatshirt anyway, so might as well put it in a hood, right? Alright, so after reviewing the footage on my computer, I just have to say that across video, audio, all aspects, right out of the camera, the DJI just looked, sounded, and performed better. That's not to say you probably can't get the Fimi Palm 2 to look nice, because both of them have mic jacks, a video bitrate of 100 megabytes per second, so they're gradable, but just straight away the DJI's quality looked better. The colors were just punchy, the sound was there. The Palm 2 just sounded like I was speaking from a tin can. Again, with the microphone, it's probably passable, so I have the DJI Pocket 2 here and the Palm 2 right here. It's worth noting that this video is filmed at 2.7K 60 frames per second. And right now I am exposing using the 180-degree shutter rule on both of them, manual setting. I don't have a microphone connected to either of them because I wanted to give you a true sense of what the preamps sound like. So specs under the hood that will work our way out. First off, they both do 4K, but the Palm here maxes out at 30 frames per second, and the Pocket 2 can do up to 4K 60. But honestly, I personally don't use it because the compression is just so hard to work with in post that it kills any fun that I have using the camera. And if I do need 4K 60, I'm not going to reach for one of these. I'm just going to go for a cinema rig. That's that. They both do panoramas, HDR, time lapses, you name it. But the Pocket 2 has 64 megapixels. Kinda, it uses binning. So it's actually closer to 16. That's not to say you can't get nice shots with it, but you have to be under the right light and right circumstances. Does look nice for a pocket-sized camera though. Now here's where the two separate. They both have Wi-Fi compatibilities, but everything's built into the Palm, whereas the Pocket here needs a modular adapter. I would say though the DJI app is a little bit more flexible and it's easier to recompose my image, especially when using face tracking, whereas the Palm 2 here basically snaps me into center focus all the time and there's not much I can really do about it. The Pocket 2 has a 93-degree field of view with an f1.7 aperture, and the Fimi Palm here has a 128-degree field of view with an f2.4 aperture. The Pocket 2 has a slightly bigger sensor with it being 1/1.7 of an inch, and the Pocket 2's is 1/2.6 of an inch. So how that translates is, with the Pocket 2, I feel like I'm saying cockatoo. With the Pocket 2, expect a tighter field of view with a brighter scene, and it's going to do a little bit better in low light with a little bit more background separation. So it's going to look a tiny bit more cinematic than the Palm 2 here. Does that make the Palm 2 bad? Of course it doesn't. That just means the Palm 2 is going to give you a wider angle, and you're not going to have to worry about focusing as much. Again, on a similar note, I would like to say that the Pocket 2 has a better tracking system with its reworked active track than the Palm 2 does. Battery life on the Palm 2 here drowns the Pocket 2 because it's about 3 times greater than the Pocket. This in itself could be a reason why you want to get the Palm 2 over the Pocket, because you can be out longer away from outlets, and this is nice, especially if you're doing, say, biking videos. I just think the Palm 2 feels better in your hands because it's a little bit bigger and it's wrapped in this nice rubber grip. The Pocket 2 is a little bit smaller and it looked a little more premium, and I say looked because I dropped mine, but that's fine because I guess patina and brassing's cool for hipsters on a camera. But in all honesty, the Pocket 2 does look nice. You are going to have to carry around more accessories if you want to get everything out of the camera when you use it though. So which is better? That is very tough to say. The DJI Pocket 2 will be nice if you want to get a more cinematic look, especially with its larger sensor, its wider aperture, and it's a no-brainer if you have a DJI drone or if you're familiar with the system and have other DJI cameras. It's going to be easier to match in post-production. But I think the Palm 2 is a great choice as an all-in-one system, especially with its steep battery life, its built-in Wi-Fi, and its cheaper price point. You definitely won't be disappointed if you choose this over that. Personally, it's tough to say which I would choose. I find myself in low-light situations a lot, and I think I would use this if I'm going out at daybreak or sundown. But for everything else, I would choose the Palm 2, simply because of the battery life and the fact that I don't have to carry around another module with it. But the Pocket has a plethora of different ways you can customize this little device and make it your own. So again, it's very tough. It's just situational. So closing, I guess we'll see which one I use more. But really, I think the Palm 2 is a great device, and it goes head to head with the Pocket nicely. But when it comes down to color science, usability, what have you, it's pretty subjective. Battery life, go with this. Accessories, go with this. It's tough. So in closing, thank you for watching, and if requested, I can do a separate video on either camera. That's it for now. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to Matt's Notes Instagram or my Fun Trappy Chan Instagram. My Spare Change channel and this channel. Support any way you can. It helps. See you later.